Good evening. I call this meeting to order. Will you please rise and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance?
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay, can we please have a roll call?
Council President Albertson.
Here.
Councilmember Rivera.
Here.
Councilmember O'Halloran. Councilmember McIrvin.
Here.
Councilmember Prince.
Here.
Councilmember Perez.
Here.
And Councilmember Vaughn. She might have froze, but she's here. So one absent, Mr. Mayor.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Council President.
move to excuse the absent council members.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved by Council President Albertson, second by Councilmember Perez, that the absent council member be excused. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. All right, motion carries. And tonight we're going to start off with a proclamation for Renton Holy Festival of Colors.
Whereas Holi, often called the Festival of Colors, is a celebration that welcomes the spring season throughout vibrant and joyful celebrations within community. And whereas the Renton Holi Festival of Colors event is a time dedicated for songs, dancing, and bonfires, marked by parks and streets filled with bursts of color. And whereas we admire Renton's Indian community for their dedication in fostering community, bringing people together for shared experiences, and whereas as the 16th most diverse city in the nation and home to people from all over the world, Renton observes and participates in a multitude of celebrations alongside its residents, and through joint celebration of others' cultures, rituals, we continue to deepen our appreciation of each other. And whereas this year in Renton, the Festival of Colors will be celebrated on March 15th at Liberty Park for all to partake in. And now, therefore, I, Armando Pavoni, Mayor of the City of Renton, do hereby proclaim this coming Saturday, March 15th, to celebrate Renton's Holi Festival of Colors. And I encourage all members of the community to join me in the special observance. In witness thereof, I have hereunto set my hand and caused the seal of the City of Renton to be affixed this 10th day of March, 2025. Signed, Mayor Armando Pavoni, City of Renton.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Council President.
move to adopt the proclamation as read.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved by Council President Albertson, second by Councilmember Perez, that the proclamation be adopted as read. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. All right, motion carries. And tonight to accept the proclamation is Pashuta Smarma. Pashuta. Actually, right there, you can say a few words.
I'm sorry, right there at the podium. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Obviously, it's my first time, so I really am so humbled and honored to be here receiving the proclamation for Holi Festival of Color. I run a nonprofit, Voice of Planet, and it is really a matter of deep joy to me that we were able to bring this festival in partnership with Parks Department of City of Renton. The colors really symbolizes a lot for the community, which I wanted to share. The red symbolizes fertility and, growth. It is also connected to a lot of Indian sentiments. Blue reflects the color of Lord Krishna. It represents peace, strength. Yellow is the color of turmeric, a sacred spice. It signifies auspiciousness, health, and prosperity. Green represents nature, new beginning, and the harvest season. Beyond the colors, holy symbolism extends so much. It's, the playful event really signifies cleansing, purification, and a fresh start for all. Holi is far more than burst of color. It is a festival with significance of celebrating victory of good over evil, the promise of renewal, the importance of forgiveness, and the power of bringing the community together. May this festival inspire all of us to embrace life's vibrancy and let the colors of joy wash over our spirits. Thank you so much.
Thank you. Now we're going to take a picture up here. So I had a chance to stop by the festival last year, and my recommendation to the community is to wear clothes that you don't mind getting some color on. So definitely a fun celebration. All right, next up is the administrative report.
All right, good evening, everyone. The City of Renton is partnering with the nonprofit organization Voice of Planet to host the Renton Festival of Colors. Mark your calendar for Saturday, March 15th from 12 to 4 p.m. and join us at Liberty Park, 1101 Bronson Way North for festivities, food trucks, music, and much, much more, including the throwing of colored powders. Join Mayor Armando Pavoni for the City of Renton's 2025 State of the City Address Wednesday, March 26th at 6:30 p.m. The event will take place at the Hyatt Regency Lake Washington at Seattle Southport, located at 1053 Lake Washington Boulevard North. Doors will open at 5:30 p.m. and light refreshments will be served. Please stop by to chat with Chief Administrative Officer Ed Van Bailey at the next What's Brewing Wednesday, March 19th at the Berliner Pub, 221 Main Avenue South from 5:30 to 6:30 p.m. All ages are welcome. Check out the Facebook event for more details. The draft 2025 Stormwater Management Program Plan is available on the city website. Public comments will be accepted through March 21st. The plan and instructions for making comments may be found on our website at rentonwa.gov/NPDES. Information about preventative street maintenance, traffic impact projects, and road closures happening this week can be found at rentonwa.gov/traffic. All projects are weather permitting. Unless otherwise noted, streets will always remain open.
Okay, thank you. Next up is audience comment. We do have a few people signed up. I want to remind everyone all remarks must be addressed to the council as a whole. If a response is requested, please provide your name, address, including email address. Each speaker is allowed 3 minutes. There's a little timer up in front. When it turns yellow, please start wrapping your comments up. And first up is Matt Hanby.
Okay, good evening, Mayor Pavoni, council members. So as you may or may not know, the hearing examiner's decision came out last week, and we are disappointed. I understand the examiner looked specifically at the zoning code for this development. What we've been arguing is there are other standards that apply to the adjoining neighborhood, and they're in conflict. So I'm probably not going to get through all this in 3 minutes, but I'll do my best. I'm quoting the hearing examiner, so hopefully you get a chance to find this quote. But it says that the proposal pits the comprehensive plan versus city policy cited by project opponents protecting residential character. Okay, so the hearing examiner is acknowledging these tensions, these conflicts, this lack of clarity in the code. And he says there is room for argument on the merits of the city's position. So I guess what I'm trying to say is our points are being heard and they are being acknowledged even by a hearing examiner. And he says there's some other quotes such as the power to amend the development code can be exercised only by the city council. So that's why we're here. That's why we've been here for a year. He acknowledges that the access points to the proposal are a valid point of debate. And I don't have time. I don't know, maybe Mr. Mayor, I know we're meeting later this week. Maybe we can talk about that, the code, because my hope is that there's still chances to change this project. I realize it's late in the game, and once my understanding is once the developer submits his application, he's vested. But until that time, I'm going to keep talking to you all. And the hearing examiner says, ideally, the access points to the proposal would be located along Logan Avenue to maintain compatibility as advocates of the area residents, of the residential area. And he cites reasons why this didn't work out, but I think that the council has a role in this. So again, running out of time, there are three things I think we're asking. One is to look at the Logan access, possible city variance, or changing the code about pedestrian access. Because while the Logan site would have an entrance on Logan, and that violates some features, you have to realize there are two entrances now on the sides, and there are sidewalks there as well. So whatever issues you have with pedestrians, you're going to have twice as many. The second part is about parking. Now, I know I've talked to some council members, and I've done my research as best I can. So RCW 3670A.060 allows for the city to increase the parking standards if there's no off-street parking and there's a physical constraint, which there is with this location. And the third thing, and I know this came up several weeks ago, is there are examples of interim zoning regulations. Edgewood did it, Tumwater did it, and moratoria, Bellingham, Chelan County, Clark County, and Pierce County. So my thought was that if there could be an interim zoning regulation for the R8 and U2 zone, the urban 2 zone, that would not be spot zoning, and that could be something you would consider. So thank you for the extra time. I appreciate it.
All right, thank you. Next up is George, and I don't want to butcher your last name because I can't quite read the rest of the writing, so.
Mayor, council members, I live on 309 Williams Avenue North, about a block and a half away from where this project is supposed to take place. The traffic on Logan right now is really bad. When Boeing lets out, it gets worse. When there's sporting events at the stadium, it gets worse. I can't see how this road system in front of or around this project is going to handle the traffic. I just can't see it. We have a traffic problem on that street right now, and we have a lot of accidents. So I hope you'll reconsider and not build this, what I call a stack and pack monstrosity. It's not going to be rented anyway because we're going into a depression. We already are in a recession. Boeing doesn't have many orders going forward. Believe it or not, the death rate in King County is abysmal. So it's just not going to be financially viable. It's going to be hell for the traffic. There's going to be injuries. Maybe some of the high school students will, unfortunately, be one of those. So I hope you'll reconsider and stop this project. Thank you very much.
Oh, sir, can you state your last name
Last
for the
name.
record?
Striker.
Striker.
Thank you.
All right, next up is Cheryl Freeze.
Hi, Cheryl Freeze, resident of Wells Avenue North, and the topic I know will shock you all. It is Logan 6. I actually want to start with a little bit of a story. So 2 weeks ago, I went to my favorite stand at Pike Place Market to pick up some vegetables. And the gentleman asked me that owns the stand where I lived. And I said, Renton, in a not really positive way, and was a little bit snide about it. And I probably rolled my eyes. And he said to me, can you tell me a little bit about why you say it that way? And I went on to explain about Logan 6, about Park, about the Renton High School expansion. And the whole time we're having this conversation, there's this other gentleman hovering around, and we kind of had no idea as to why. And so he said, I'm really sorry to hear that. And I'm really sorry to hear that you feel that way. I'm a graduate of Renton High School, and it's really disappointing to see everything going on. So the other gentleman finally stepped into the conversation, and he said, I'm a resident of Renton Highlands, and I want to tell you a little bit about what I'm experiencing. And he talked about his dissatisfaction as well. So mostly what I want to say is I'm embarrassed. You all should be too. And when I shared with them that you were using the exact same argument to address two separate issues, and what I thought was absolutely illogical just to serve you, and they were perplexed as well. I told them that you opposed a moratorium for Logan 6 because you said we need more housing, and yet you're willing to destroy 30 plus homes and businesses for an unnecessary high school expansion and displace those individuals. I can't figure out for the life of me how that's even a logical argument. Because they both knew the area, I also shared with them that I hope that you are not going to allow construction trucks when Logan 6, if it does go through, to enter or exit off of Logan. And I want you to force them to use 3rd and 4th because you feel so strongly that this is the best exit and entrance for this proposed development. Recently, one council member was willing to take a risk and open up dialogue on Logan 6, and another was also willing to take a risk and second it so that the absolute minimum for the first time in over a year, you all would have to engage in front of us on this topic. And we appreciate both those council members, regardless of the outcome. Watching you all engage was something we deserve, whether it's RHS, the asphalt plant, the skateboard park, John Houston, Park Avenue building, or Logan 6. We deserve your time and attention. Elections are forthcoming. We will be channeling our dissatisfaction with how you've treated the residents you supposedly represent in this election and the one thereafter. We hope that some of you who want to run again and truly serve the residents will start behaving
Wrap
in a
up your
manner
comments.
that will align your words with your actions. Thank you.
Okay, next up is Gabriel Jones.
Howdy, folks. My name is Gabriel Jones, Renton Equity Commissioner, but as usual today, I'm here to speak as a Renton citizen. Here today talking again about some queer protections. As much as I hate it, and as much as I hate it, I have been kind of the person that my friend group always sends anti-queer legislation to. As much as I don't want to read about all the ways people are trying to erode my rights every day, it happens. And I think it's kind of important for other people to know about it too, so they can talk about why it's really important to protect individual communities. So, one of the biggest ones I've seen this week is a law is being proposed in Texas that says if a trans person says, I'm a woman, they would be committing the crime of gender identity fraud, which would be a felony, punishable by jail time. You know, and bills like this just aren't in our, bills like this just aren't in our red states. Washington State has a bill going through right now that bans teachers from using students' chosen names or chosen pronouns and must use the ones that are on their birth certificate. And then another really concerning one I saw this week was President Trump posted a picture of the pink triangle with an X through it. The pink triangle, of course, being used as a sign during the Holocaust to denote homosexuality. We are under attack every single day, and we need to stand up and fight. I know so many people who are afraid and scared, and I want to be here for them, and that's why I'm here today. And all of my trans brothers and sisters and everyone who in between lived in fear. So I'm here to speak about it because it does. At the end of the day, we need people we need to protect us here. We can't rely on the state because the state we don't know who's going to be up in office 5 years. We don't know what winds might change. We need to protect people when we can here. We don't know what the federal government's going to do, but we can protect people here. Now, since the last time I came, I had 2 council members reach out to me and speak to me on these issues, and I was super appreciative for that. And I'd love to hear from each and every one of you on what we can do. And if you won't do it for your queer community, then just a reminder that over half of you are running this year, and the queer community will be watching. I'm excited to work with you all, though, and I'm very excited to see what we can do for our queer communities and keep us safe. So thank you so much.
All right, thank you. All right, next up is the consent agenda. There are 6 items for council consideration. Are there any that you would like pulled for separate discussion?
Mr. Mayor?
Yes, Council President.
Hearing none, I move that the consent agenda be approved as published.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved by Council President Albertson, seconded by Councilmember Perez, that the council approve the consent agenda as published. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. All right, motion carries and we are on to unfinished business. Council President Albertson.
No unfinished business, Mr. Mayor.
Councilmember Rivera.
No unfinished business, Mr. Mayor.
Councilmember McGurven.
No unfinished business, Mr. Mayor.
Councilmember Brent.
No unfinished business, Mr. Mayor.
Councilmember Perez.
The Finance Committee always at work. We have 9 reports to present.
All right, Finance Committee, committee report. First is regarding claims and payroll vouchers. The Finance Committee approves the following payments. Accounts payable, total payment of $20,958,501.37 for a number of vouchers, payroll benefit withholding vouchers, and 3 wire transfers. 2 is payroll, total payment of $2,053,964.95 for payroll vouchers that include 668 direct deposits and 7 checks. This is the February 1st through 15th pay period. And then Kidder Matthew vouchers totaling $50,610.88. This is signed by the committee chair and member.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Councilmember Perez.
I move that the council concur with the recommendation of the Finance Committee committee report.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved by Councilmember Perez, seconded by Councilmember McGurven, that the council concur with the Finance Committee report. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
All right, the next report is regarding a grant from the King County Flood Control District. The Finance Committee recommends concurrence in the staff recommendation to authorize the mayor and city clerk to execute flood reduction grant agreement GRA 25003 with the King County Flood Control District in the amount of $225,000 for engineering services related to the Lind Avenue Southwest Storm Improvement Project. This too is signed by the committee chair and member.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Councilmember Perez.
I move that the council concur with the recommendation of the Finance Committee committee report.
Second.
It's been moved by Councilmember Perez, seconded by Councilmember McGurven, that the council concur with the Finance Committee report. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. Motion carries.
All right, the next report is regarding a grant with King County for waste reduction and recycling. The Finance Committee recommends concurrence in the staff recommendation to authorize the mayor and city clerk to execute the interagency agreement GRA 25005 with King County to accept $90,594 of non-matching grant funds available in 2025 to implement waste reduction and recycling programs. This too is signed by the committee chair and member.
Mr. Mayor,
Councilmember Perez.
I move that the council concur with the recommendation of the Finance Committee committee report.
Second.
It's been moved by Councilmember Perez, seconded by Councilmember McGurven, that the council concur with the Finance Committee report. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. All right, motion carries.
All right, the next report is also a grant agreement with King County for local hazardous waste management. The Finance Committee recommends concurrence in the staff recommendation to authorize the mayor and city clerk to execute the interagency agreement GRA 25002 with King County to accept $25,103.51 of non-matching grant funds available in 2025 to implement household hazardous waste education programs. This too is signed by the committee chair and members.
Mr. Mayor,
Councilmember Perez.
I move that the council concur with the recommendation of the Finance Committee committee report.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved by Councilmember Perez, seconded by Councilmember McGurven, that the council concur with the Finance Committee report. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. All right, motion carries.
All right, the next report is regarding an interlocal agreement with the city of Black Diamond for electronic home monitoring. The Finance Committee recommends concurrence in the staff recommendation to approve the interlocal agreement with the city of Black Diamond for their utilization of Renton's electronic home monitoring program for eligible offenders sentenced by the participant's municipal court. Participants shall compensate Renton for the services provided under the agreement at the rate stated in Exhibit A for the term of January 1 through December 31. Installation and monitoring of the EHM offenders will be billed to a participant at the rate of $36, $18 for equipment, $18 for administration per active day. And so this too is signed by the committee chair and members.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Councilmember
I
Perez.
move that council concur with the recommendation of the Finance Committee committee report.
Second.
It's been moved by Councilmember Perez, seconded by Councilmember McGurven, that the council concur with the Finance Committee report. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. All right, motion carries.
All right, the next report is also a grant. It's from the Administrative Office of the Courts for the community court retreat. The Finance Committee recommends concurrence in the staff recommendation to authorize the Renton Municipal Court to enter into a grant agreement with the Administrative Office of the Courts to accept $5,000 to support the facilitation of the third annual Regional Community Court Retreat. This is signed by the committee chair and members.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Councilman Perez.
I move that the council concur with the recommendation of the Finance Committee report.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved by Councilman Perez, second by Councilmember McGurven, that the council concur with the Finance Committee report. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. All right, motion carries.
All right, the next report is also a grant from the Administrative Office of the Courts for supplemental funding for the community court. The Finance Committee recommends concurrence in the staff recommendation to authorize the acceptance of $11,000 in supplemental funds from the Administrative Office of the Courts as part of Interagency Agreement IAA 25085 in support of Renton Municipal Courts Therapeutic Courts. This is signed by the committee chair and member.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Councilman Perez.
I move that council concur with the recommendation of the Finance Committee report.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved by Councilman Perez, second by Councilman McGurven, that the council concur with the Finance Committee report. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. All right, motion carries. We might have lost her.
Okay, and so the next report is regarding the conversion of a limited term customer service position to full-time. The Finance Committee recommends concurrence in the staff recommendation to approve the conversion of the limited term Secretary 2 position to a full-time equivalent FTE Secretary 2 position. This is signed by the committee chair and members.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Councilman Perez.
I move that council concur with the recommendation of the Finance Committee report.
Second.
It's been moved by Councilman Perez, second by Councilman McGurven, that the council concur with the Finance Committee report. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. All right, motion carries.
All right, the last report is regarding a contract for the Downtown Business District Clean Initiative. The Finance Committee concurs with the staff recommendation to authorize the mayor and city clerk to execute the agreement with Fresh Family LLC Trucking, which is doing business as Fresh Family, to provide cleaning services for the Renton Downtown Business District. This too is signed by the committee chair and member.
Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Councilman Perez.
I move that council concur with the recommendation of the Finance Committee report.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved by Councilman Perez, second by Councilman McGurven, that the council concur with the Finance Committee report. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. All right, motion carries. All right, we are still on to unfinished business, and Councilmember Van, do you have any unfinished business?
No, Mr. Mayor, no.
Okay, thank you. So we're on to legislation. We have one resolution for adoption.
All right, this is regarding the interlocal agreement with the city of Black Diamond. A resolution of the city of Renton, Washington, authorizing the mayor and city clerk to enter into an interlocal agreement with the city of Black Diamond for the purpose of providing electronic home monitoring services to the city of Black Diamond. This is, that's it.
Mr. Mayor,
Perez.
I move the resolution be adopted as read.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved by Councilmember Perez, second by Councilmember McGurven, that the resolution be adopted as read. Any discussion? All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. All right, motion carries. And we are on to new business. Council President Alverson.
Yes, Mr. Mayor. On Monday, March 17th at 5:30 p.m., the Committee of the Whole will be meeting in the Council Conferencing Center. One item on the agenda, and that is the score update. And then at 7 o'clock, we will meet the regular council meeting here in council chambers and via video conference. And that is all for now, Mr. Mayor.
All right. Let's hear Councilmember Rivera.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. The Public Safety Committee will be meeting Monday, March 17th at 3:45 p.m. There are 4 items on the agenda. The first being Excuse me. The first being the Cedar River Trail and discussing a lot of the issues that we have been hearing and seeing on that particular trail. The second would be Six and Park. The third will be the Renton Regional Fire Authority update. And fourth will be emerging issues in public safety. And that is all, Mr. Mayor.
All right, thank you. Councilmember McGurven.
Thank you, Mayor. I would like to announce the Transportation Committee will be meeting on Monday, March 17th at 4:45 p.m. in the council conference room and via video conference. We have 3 items on the agenda. First is adaptive signal control purchase and agreement with Western Systems. Second, agreement with Gray and Osborne for Renton School and Pedestrian Crossing number 2 project. And finally, emerging issues. That's all, Mr. Mayor.
All right, thank you. Councilmember Prince.
No new business, Mr. Mayor.
All right, thank you. Councilmember Perez.
None of business, Mr. Mayor.
And Councilmember Van.
Yeah, thank you, Mr. Mayor. I have a few businesses. First is the Utilities Committee meeting on March 17, 2025, Monday at 3 p.m. has been canceled. And secondly, I just want to share a little bit of my experience here in NLC and the updates and information working with the federal government while we try our best here in NLC and as well as locally to work with our federal partners. It's been rather challenging. And with that said, there are some accomplishments, but I know that we all know our funding being withheld for our EV charging station and the like. And as we're hearing Equity Commissioner Gabe Jones and the community in the last 2 months in the election and of course inauguration, I am asking today that my council colleagues concur with referring the matter of drafting a proclamation declaring our city standing in solidarity with the LGBTQIA plus community and trans community. I know the T is already in there, but to emphasize that, and that we are an inclusive city.
All right, next up,
I would like to second that motion, but I also have a point of information.
what motion?
What she just, I thought did she not do a motion?
Technically.
Yes.
I'm pretty sure she just passed a motion for the city of Renton.
Referring, yeah.
Yeah.
Referring to the administration.
But I also have I would like to second the motion with a point of information, if that's possible.
You first have to second it, and then you can
I would second it, and then I'll have a point of information.
Okay.
Point of information, Councilmember Van, if I'm allowed.
Yes, go ahead.
Thank you. I've also been meeting with several members of the community and organizations, and I appreciate this motion being brought up, and I would like to second it with hopefully adding and amending it to model our proclamation and to use the city of Bossel's most recent proclamation passed as a guideline. I have done quite a bit of research onto this matter, and the city of Bossel's proclamation is far more than performative. It is a solid piece of legislation that I was referred to on Friday, actually, and I was going to share with our city attorney this week. And so this is perfectly timed, but if we could, I would be confident in us modeling something based off the city of Bossel's proclamation when it comes to becoming an LGBTQ inclusive and sanctuary city in the state of Washington, as other cities like Bossel, Olympia, and et cetera have done.
Yeah, I'm open to information, and I think that anything that we do the model with good practices, so I appreciate that information, Councilmember.
Hey, do you need a point of clarification?
Yeah, was that a amendment to the initial motion?
Yes, it was.
Well, we'll need a second for that.
Second.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded to amend the motion. Any discussion on the amendment?
I can happily reviewed the city of Bossel's legislation. If any of my colleagues have questions, I'm happily ready to speak on it. I wouldn't be as ready as I would have been next week or the week after, but I am ready tonight to speak on it. If my colleagues have any questions in regards to this, I've done a lot of communication with the community and in regards to this legislation. Please ask me questions.
Okay, we are going to vote, unless there's any other discussion, we're going to vote on the amendment first. So, oh,
Can I hear clearly what the amendment, what the actual
the
motion?
amendment is, the original motion is to refer to the administration, the idea of a proclamation protecting the LGBTQ community. The amendment is to model it after the Bothell proclamation.
More than a proclamation, it was an actual, I believe, resolution or ordinance that was passed. But yes.
Any other discussion?
I'm
Would you?
not totally sure. Well, without being familiar with the Bothell resolution, and I don't really I don't think rushing through and hearing it right now is sufficient if you were going to research and plan to do something next week. But I as it appears to me, I mean, Renton is already, and we've been very clear that we're an exclusive city into. Sorry, inclusive. Strike that from the record. Inclusive city, and to put it on an ordinance or a resolution. Well, I heard proclamation. The amendment is now ordinance or resolution or something like that. It seems
It is a
little murky
resolution.
right now. Resolution seems. I guess I'm trying to understand where it's going when there's been no indication that Renton is not welcoming in any kind of way, and that additional protections are needed. I'm not sure. Once again, what Bob was saying, it just appears that it's maybe not necessarily performative, but I'm wondering about the necessity of this particular thing.
Mr. Mayor.
Hold on one second, Councilmember Van. First Councilmember Prince, then Councilmember Van.
Thank you. We have a long history of talking about being a welcoming and inclusive city. It's in our business plan. However, I would say I'm fine having additional conversation about this and having the administration come back with something. Just I'm trying to find the right word I want to use. It doesn't hurt to have additional conversation, I guess, and to kind of show your work.
That's what we're asking for. Once again, I hear resolutions and ordinances, and I got lost in the whole thing. So once again, I just hesitate to put something forward without us necessarily knowing exactly what we're going to be asking, and if it's superfluous to what's already in play. But if it's about additional conversation and consideration and discussion, I have no problem with that.
Well, Mr. Mayor, I'm almost done, Councilmember Van. I promise you. If we're referring it to the administration, then it's gonna have to come back to us for additional conversation. That's what I meant by I'm fine showing our work and having additional conversation on this and doing that. And, we have talked about for years being a welcoming and inclusive city with opportunities for all. And I think that includes showing our work on something like this.
Okay, Councilmember Van.
Yeah, thank you, Councilmember Prince and Council President Albertson. And I understand that with any referral to the administration, they'll do their research and come back with the best model practices. And I'd like to make it clear that while we have proclaimed we're an inclusive city, this is really unprecedented time. And we have, during the global pandemic, while we saw our community suffering with anti-Asian hate and sentiment in our city, we were not as quick to support. And I understand during this time when it is really your community, the community, the neighbors, the here in our city are really in fear, and meeting our commitment to our residents, our community members, to say that we're really standing with them, and that the fact is we want to make sure that, like what Councilmember Rivera said, which comes to discussion and education, which comes with a lot of support that, Renton PD were really front and ahead of the curve in educational videos during the anti-Asian hate timeframe to supporting our community. So that's why I believe that this is very important. It's really along the same line with our city business. We promote a hate-free, we include cities, but unprecedented times, we really want to make sure that we, as a city, reiterate to our community members that we're with them.
Mr. Mayor?
Councilmember Barrow.
Thank you. I'm going to speak as the only and first openly queer person on this council who grew up in Renton during a time where it wasn't very friendly to be here as a queer person. I wasn't comfortable coming out when I was younger. And I spent some time in the past few weeks speaking with members of the LGBTQI plus community and their parents. A mother who spoke to me about her child being called a slur at a grocery store. So I would love us to hesitate and practice a little humility when we say this is an inclusive city. Ideally, it is. However, I have experienced it, other people have experienced it, where it has not been the most inclusive, and their experiences are valid. So I want to make that first and foremost very clear, as all experiences, as we've seen here at our public comment, are valid. And I would say that when it comes to this, I was working with organizations to bring this hopefully in the next few weeks a little bit more through our city attorney. I was working with families and organizers who were going to come and really speak more to their experiences. Again, I appreciate this coming sooner rather than later. We can still have those family members come and bring their experiences and share them with all of you, because if you could hear what I've heard, I think you would all understand how incredibly important something like this is. And that's why I know the importance of public comment and bringing members of the LGBTQI plus community who live in Renton to come here and speak about why something like this is so important and not just performative. The performance of saying we stand with our LGBTQ community, our trans community in particular, is more performative because people need to hear it right now. People need to hear that we see them, that we value them, that they are equal to us. But what Bossel's legislation also does is commit to not funding anti-LGBTQ healthcare legislation or LGBTQ discriminatory policies in terms of public accommodations or anything that the city could possibly fund, which is within our purview, which is something that is tangible, something that we can actually control with our purse strings. Additionally, it does this whole simple thing of making sure that all of our events are inclusive to the LGBTQI plus community, because everyone across race, ethnicity, gender, everyone is impacted when it comes to the LGBTQI plus community. And so I think with just a few of those things that I can bring up, to look at the City of Bossel's proclamation as an outline, to look at how we can really sink our teeth into it. Because when I was door knocking back in 2021, I was so grateful to knock onto an entire cul-de-sac of queer families. And it was something that I'd never even seen in Renton growing up. And it was something that I absolutely loved and adored. And I want that to be uplifted. I want those families, those parents of those queer kids and those trans kids to be uplifted. And so that's why I really hope that we can come up with something similar to City of Bossel. I hope that our family and friends of the queer community can come and join us and share how important this is. And I really do appreciate any and all support on this endeavor. Thank you, Councilmember Van.
Mr. Mayor.
Yes, Councilmember Gervin.
Yes, thank you. Speaking in favor of the motion, this is also something I had hoped would be brought forward, so I'm glad it is and was aware of some efforts to do so, maybe in that more guided approach. I do think that this is something we should be saying out loud, especially right now, so I do think this is something I would like to see developed back to us. If I can offer one friendly amendment as a matter of process, I hate to stack an amendment on another amendment. Let's just see if this is in the lines of the maker of the motion. The recommended body, I'm wondering if we shouldn't be utilizing for this for review. Would the Equity Commission not be the appropriate place to send this to? I'm wondering for review and drafting it, and certainly incorporate Bothell as a case study for sure of something we might incorporate into it. But I would hate to be overly prescriptive on exactly how this thing's going to look before it comes back to us. I think agreeing on a general sentiment of what we are looking for in terms of a statement of being an inclusive city is something I would support now, and would welcome giving our Equity Commission that work if they are ready to take that on.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes. Councilmember Brett.
Thank you, Councilmember McGurven. I'm pretty certain, although I don't know for sure, but I'm pretty certain what you're asking is something that the administration would probably do. But I think it's okay. It's fine. Like just laying it out there. But I don't think that we as the council have to prescribe that. I think that that's something that the administration would do as due course.
That is correct. We would, something like this, we would present to them. The one caveat is that we're going through a time of transition, so I'll definitely have to find out if we have a fully staffed group and how fast we can actually get it there and get it back to you. So time could be the one issue, because I think we have 4 spots that are people have termed out, and we have new members. I think we had 38 applicants or something like that. So
So the next meeting is in May.
next meeting is May.
In May, but we can still certainly draft and send that to them, the current members for.
Yeah. Okay. Oh, I didn't hear. Yeah, Councilmember Van. Yes.
Thank you. Yeah, I would agree in normal circumstances, but to refer it to just the commission where they're not able to meet, it's just not what we have done in the past as well, right? I think that certainly members can look at it, and we have Councilmember Vera here from such community that I think having lived experience is very important, and I think that it's very as a council and with Equity Commissioner Gabe Jones, who spoken many times on this matter. I think that we can make it work with giving opportunities for commissioners, equity commissioners to take a look at it, because they don't form to me. Okay?
Okay, so we have 2 motions on the floor. We got to vote on the amendment first, which is to basically refer to the Bothell resolution as a model. Any more discussion on that? Okay, all in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. All right, that motion carries. And the second one is to send to the administration for review. I guess proclamation was what the original motion was, a proclamation protecting the LGBTQ community. All in favor?
Was it a proclamation? A point of order?
That's what she said.
But that's what the original, yeah.
The amendment will change that to resolution.
And then it will change.
Yes.
All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. All right, motion carries. All right, council, thank you. Councilmember Albertson,
Yes.
Council President Albertson.
That's okay. I accepted the demotion. They say better late than never. So this is something that was meant to be done after the beginning of the year, but we had some issues here and there. I want to present this to past Council President Ed Prince in appreciation for all of the hard work and laborious tasks that you put forth in 2024.
I mean, I was really just putting up with you.
We appreciate all your efforts and speech or something like that.
Thank you, Council President.
Speech.
Relatively little pomp and circumstance, but it is done.
Thank you. We did this for you, Judith. Mr. Mayor,
Yes, Councilmember Prince.
move we adjourn.
Okay, it's been moved and seconded that we adjourn. All in favor signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed, nay. All right.